welcome back to Wolves World for the match preview of Wolves versus Chelsea tomorrow night, Tuesday, in the Premier League. In this video, I don't really want to dwell for very long about the disappointment of the Villa game, but I do want to give a quick summary of what I felt, how I felt that went, and what I'd like to see. First of all, I thought Wolves actually, their performance was quite good against Villa. Clearly lacked the final touches in front of goal, but they certainly created chances, and decent chances at that, and found a keeper in inspired form. On top of that, I thought defensively we weren't really tested too much by Villa. I think they had a lot of the ball in the middle of the pitch, but they didn't really come at us with any danger in and around the box, and certainly Patricio didn't have an awful lot to do. Taking that forward into this Chelsea game, that is not going to be the case, I think, tomorrow night. Chelsea are certainly going to create chances, and hopefully they're not clicking, but if they are, they've got a plethora of players who are capable of causing trouble from inside and outside the box. To combat that, in this video I'm going to quickly discuss a few formations, how I think they could work, the options open to Nuno, and how I would like to see Wolves line up in that game. Firstly, Wolves have the option to start with the same formation and probably the same lineup minus Neves in for Moutinho for his suspension, and I think there's a high chance that Nuno will opt for this formation. He's clearly now, in his stubborn ways, finally changed from a 5. I can't see him deciding to go back to a 4, even for a game like Chelsea on the back of a few defeats in a row. If this is what he opts for, the simple thing for me is Wolves are going to have to score goals. There is no way that this formation with a back 4 will keep Chelsea out to a clean sheet, and I'd be expecting Chelsea to probably put 2 past us, even if we play well with a back 4, whether it's Saiss, Bolly, or maybe even Kilman comes alongside Cody. I can't see Marcel changing. I think he's been very good, and I can't see him swapping Semedo out, mainly because we have no other choices. So I do think if we play with a 4 at the back, Chelsea will come at us and be dangerous, and Wolves will need to score at least 2 to get anything from the game. Which is why I wouldn't personally go for that formation. For me, I would revert back to the back 5 for this game, or 3 with 2 wing backs, how we want to look at it, and I would bring Bolly back into the team alongside Cody in the middle and Saiss on the left. I think Saiss looked very good in the last match. I think Bolly maybe has had the kick up the arse he needed after being dropped in that game to hopefully pick himself up to the standards we all know he can reach. Semedo, I think, is possibly more comfortable in a back 5, but as much as anything, he will be needed to cause some trouble on the attacking threat. Chelsea's wide players, forwards, wingers, whatever you want to call them, will certainly be forward thinking, and if Semedo is given a bit of license to push forwards, I think that could make them turn around, work the other direction, and I could see that also rewarding us not only the solid situation at the back, but it will reward us going forward as well, giving us another body to get up there. If he goes for the 5, I think the player to miss out for me would be Traore. The main reason is he will be the impact player off the bench that we definitely don't have if we go for all 4 of our attacking or current fit attacking players on the pitch like we did against Villa. Traore, we've seen, could come on maybe centrally for the counter-attack long balls, or he could still just come on and do something different to what Neto and Podence will do, who I hope start the game. With this as well, Silva, who I think has looked very good in the last match, and in fact in all the games he's played recently since Jimenez's injury, I think he's shown nice touches, a willingness to work hard, and he's starting to find maybe his confidence in and around the box, and I would like to see that continue. I think it'd be harsh on him if he's not starting this game in any formation. And I do think, maybe not against Chelsea, but a goal or a run of goals may be coming sometime soon. The lad's obviously got class, and he's only 18. We need to give him time, support him and supply him, and I think he'll do well. The other option for me is if he opts to go with a 4 or a 5, but possibly plays 2 central players through the middle who may not be strikers, but will certainly be there, a bit like the game at Man City last season, where they will be there to just do what they can. Whether it's a long ball to run onto and cause some problems, or if it's getting the ball to feet and just playing with each other to try and get forwards. That could be how Wolves see this game going. I think this is unlikely, although I do also think there is some merit in this formation. If he opts for this, Traore would be one of the two central players, probably with Neto, meaning Silva misses out. I would be sad to see this, but hopefully, whichever formation Nuno opts for, there is a chance that there is a goal or two in it, and if he plays any of them correctly, they could definitely work. This formation also would mean we'd need to ask, when we don't have the ball, to almost play with no strikers and fill out that sort of central midfield area, letting the fullbacks or wing-backs do the main bit of the wide defending, because I think Chelsea's goals tend to come from crosses into the middle or nice play to the edge of the box. So if we can crowd out that area, I think that'll really stop them, or limit them at least, to less chances. Going into this fixture, Chelsea obviously have a number of very dangerous players that Wolves need to be aware of, but I think in all cases it's just about, can we remain concentrated and focused on the task, and can we stop them getting shots from sort of 20 yards and in, whether it's Mount pushing forwards, maybe Ziyech's balls in, we've seen have been very dangerous, and then you've got Giroud as well in the box. I think these are the key areas for Wolves. If we allow them the ball, I think that can work for us to catch them on the counter, but we can't allow them the ball in too advanced positions or in dangerous positions around the edge of the box, because then we're asking for trouble with the quality they have. Against Villa, against Southampton, and arguably even against Leicester, we may have let the opposition do that a few times or let them have that, but they have not got players, with the couple aside, they have not got the same amount of quality players who can punish us that Chelsea have. Chelsea obviously came off the back of a very disappointing result this week against a bit of an up and down Everton team who you don't know what you're going to get from. I'm not looking too much into that personally. I think Everton played quite well on the day, and I also think Chelsea were a bit unlucky and also played poorly, possibly a little bit tired too. I think they'll be ready to bounce back against Wolves, and we are possibly in for quite a long evening, certainly without the ball. That being said, I do think Wolves have a small chance, especially if we can grab the first goal, of coming away from this match with something in the way of a positive result, whether it's maybe a 1-1 is sort of the best I'm thinking of. If Chelsea are having an off day and we can grab a goal, who knows what can happen, but I think that's a bit less likely. Even though those results are possible, because you never know with Wolves, you never know with Chelsea, I would still be expecting this game, sadly, to be a defeat for Wolves. I'm thinking it might be quite a routine turn up, score some goals and go home from Chelsea, maybe a 2-0 defeat. Not being pessimistic, because I am quite a positive character. What I definitely don't want to see is a mauling. We have seen from Wolves that the shape they choose could leave us quite exposed, and we could end up on the back of a bit of a hiding. However, I don't think that is going to happen if we get the first 15-20 minutes of the game correct. And I hope I'm wrong with my prediction, but I think Chelsea are a team that are definitely, this year in particular, quite far ahead of Wolves, and probably so they should be with the money they've spent. And I think on the back of both our sets of form, I would think that Wolves will do well to come away with anything, and a 2-0 defeat, provided we show up and perform unlike in the second half of the Liverpool game. I won't actually be too disappointed with that result, provided there's a performance, even if we get beaten. Final thing from me, if you haven't seen already, I have got a website which is www.wolvesworld.org. On there, as well as my YouTube videos that go on, I do post articles weekly, or sometimes a little bit less regularly than that. My most recent one is about Traore and how his position is possibly limited by modern day football positions, and I've had some good feedback from that, and maybe you'll enjoy reading it. So that's wolvesworld.org if you'd like to have a look on there, and you can subscribe to the website as well as this channel. So that's all from me today. Hopefully I'm wrong with my prediction. Hopefully Wolves can turn up, put in a performance, and maybe score a goal or two, which I think is what we'd all like to see, no matter what the result is. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, tell people about this channel. I'm really enjoying doing it, and I would love some support as I move forward. Thank you very much. Bye bye.